Dan here, DD Speed Shop. Well, today's gonna be just a quick video here before we get started on this fine 56 Chevrolet truck. So, I see comments all the time. People are always asking, how do you keep going? How do you do this? How do you do that? And I don't think I'm special or nothing like that, but I get it all the time. And ultimately, a lot of it, I think I'm just too kind of thick in the noggin to stop. But I'm not gonna lie, this truck has been sitting apart now for a week. We did the video, and I have zero motivation. So,
and it's apart.
It's apart. It's blown apart in the shop. I've been crazy at work. I was a little sick. It's the holidays. Pick your excuse. I have them all. I then blew it all apart. Oh, so a wise man once told me, well, Mr. Heavy Chevy, don't take it apart. And we've taken it apart, even though it's not that much work to put it all back together. And this, if we want to sell it or whatever, we could. I didn't destroy this thing just yet. But this is a very relatable spot for a lot of people. The excitement of picking it up and bringing it home and pressure washing it, and then the fun of taking it apart and all that has depleted. I'm now left with a pile of parts. So I've gone through and I've checked, it's not that bad, and it's not. The truck isn't that bad. But it's just one of those things, honestly, the truck is too good. It's so good that you kind of don't want to start taking it apart. And that's where I'm struggling with, like in here. So we have a little bit of this box side and a little bit of this step. So it's not, come on, it's not that bad. It needs a wood kit or something like that put in. This side is actually fine. Now under here, it's like, so if I start to change the wood, all this is coming apart. It's getting blown in a million pieces, you know what I mean? It's just one of those mental things. Usually when I buy stuff, it's already been disassembled, it's such junk, there's nowhere to go but up, but we actually have to go down before we go back up. I went out and I picked up a bunch of parts. Oh, actually, if anyone here is friends with Scott Super Trucks, tell him to give Dan a deal next time. So, yet again, here I am. Pile of sheet metal. Well, not a pile, but some miscellaneous stuff. And just this, I have bought so many vehicles in this shape and been excited to work on them. But when I do it, man, I really hit a wall there. So, we priced it all out. We could have found some new fenders, but they were $750 or $800. And ultimately, I bet they would fit like garbage. So, of course, I was like, I'll drive an hour and a half out of town and I'll buy all the little pieces I need to fix it and whatnot. And they have sat for a week. Everything sat for a week. Now I realize there's no boxes on it just yet or whatever, but it's just, I guess I'm trying to bring you guys into my suck a little bit, or maybe if you guys ever feel as though I never run out of energy or something like that, that is just simply not the case. We're at a point now where I have the sheet metal, I'm lazy to work on it, we have brakes and stuff on the way, but I don't know, I spent a day over here cleaning the shop up a little bit, took some garbage out, just kind of having trouble getting going. But then, I get a comment from you guys, a supportive comment, and I thought I would just read it aloud here real quick. This is what's going to get me going. Jeffrey Gortz. Now, pretty rarely do I say someone's name, but this guy got to me. And I should say got to me, but whatever. You guys can build all the motors you want, but the rusted out patina junk you're putting motors in is just a big waste of time and money. I grew up in the hot rod days. That was 60 years ago. It's been a dying hobby for decades, and Danny boy, if you think you were so cool driving those ugly ass cars around, you are wrong. Wrong! So anyways, I took that and I was like, you know what, screw that guy. Let's go here and put another one of these ugly hot rods together. So, you get to this level, it's hard to keep going. The next thing, and I very rarely deal with it or care. I don't really care what that guy said, but worrying about what other people think of your hot rods, don't ever give a flying fuck what someone else says about your hot rods. Bleep that out.
I'm not going to bleep
in post?
No.
Danielle, in post?
I'm not going to do it.
It's your car to do whatever you want with. If you want to cut this thing in half, you want to crush it, you want to restore it mint, you want to put it back together and drive it around the farm, you do whatever you want because you bought it, it's yours, whatever makes you happy. I drive that 55 Chevy, that blue one, and I feel like $1 million. You get thumbs up left and right, and you know what? One of 100 people goes, "Are you going to paint it?" "Nope." And they go, "Why not?" And you go, "Don't want to." And at the end of the day, they go, "Well, why wouldn't you paint it?" And you go, "Are you going to paint your 55 Chevy?" "Oh, you don't have one." Anybody who actually has anything at all will never criticize you. It's the, what did I say, Larry's, whatever the guy's name was, on the internet that have nothing better to do, they're going to let you have it. And I've heard that comment so often. Back in my day, you know, you're not putting it back together factory and this and that. So 60 years ago, so it's 2025 or almost, so it'd be 15, 05, 95, 85, 75, 65 is 60 years ago. So yes, I would have to agree that in 1965, in your heyday of hot rods, your 9-year-old Chevy truck, 9 years old, was probably a lot easier to restore or hot rod or whatever words you want to use there, because that's no different than if I went and picked up heater's on, a 2015 Corvette, Camaro, Challenger, whatever. I'm going to get the thing, vacuum it out, change the floor mats, put a set of tires on it, and start driving it. Is that hot rodding? I don't know. Say what you will with that, but...
Well, and he probably didn't find it sitting in a field for 60 years, just on blocks, or missing this, missing that. All the parts were readily available again.
Well,
they were much more cost effective.
And maybe I'm talking up my ass. Maybe George there, 1965, that's when it was. So now he's talking about a 70-year-old vehicle, because that's what this is, right? Give or take. So maybe he was talking about when in 1965 he was hot rodding his 1895, whatever the hell it was. I mean, maybe that's what he was doing. Working on a 60-year-old car, and he restored it back to factory. Never happened, right? People talk with their ass left and right and have no idea what anything about cars are. Cars will wear you down, and they're a hassle, but it's an addiction. This is no different than drinking, gambling, smoking cigarettes. That's what this is, that to me. I can't quit it, even though it's terrible. But man, there's some good days at the casino, and there's some good days smoking cigarettes, and there's some good days driving hot rods. They'll slowly kill you. They'll empty your wallet. They cause a rift with your old lady. Oh yeah, I thought you love every bit of these things.
I love you.
Yeah. So don't let anyone tell you how to do it. It's yours. Do what you want with it. If you get anything out of this video, it's if you get to this level, and maybe this will kick someone in the ass to get out there and do it, because I tell you what, I'm going to force myself into it, and I've learned in the past, this, you know, don't come out here and just start sitting around drinking a beer. You got to go and actually start working. Before you know it, today, this fender will be fixed on a future video, probably the next video, wherever Danny decides to do, but this fender will be fixed. And we'll start taking it apart. Maybe I'll take a break on the fender. I'll start working on the box. So I'll do one fender on the box. I'll come back and do this. And whatever it may be, slowly but surely it'll get going.
One thing a day.
One thing a day. Just get out there. Every now and again I guess you need a week off. I don't think I've taken a week off in the shop in a while. But it has been busy between moving and job and traveling. And
the hair modeling has been very lucrative lately.
Man,
he's high in demand.
You know the Sears catalog you guys love so much? You think this just happens? No. But anyway, that's all I want to say. Just a kind of a quick one there, to just so everyone understands we're all in the same position. I guarantee you, Boyd Coddington and Chip Foose and JF Francais, he probably hits the same thing, where you just don't want to be there, you don't want to do it. Life's tough, you know. It doesn't matter what job you are, what job you have some rough days. So, thanks to Pierre there for giving me the motivation.
You've said so many names that are not his name.
I forget his name. I screenshotted it, and I actually had to put a reminder on my phone to talk about it. That's how little I care about it, but I wanted to have a segue is what I was trying to do. That's what we call it in the biz.
Oh yeah, because you're the talent.
I'm the talent. There you go. So, have fun restoring your, in 1965, I'm glad you restored your 60-year-old car back to factory original, and you won all those car shows, and you had gold-plated frame and all that sort of stuff. And you know, you're probably in you're 18 and you're a quarterback in football and you were winning all that and dating the cheerleader and you basically lived the movie Grease.
Yeah, you pinned the high school cheerleader. She was wearing your Letterman jacket all around high school.
Life was always better 60 years ago. But you know what we're doing right now? I'm in a nice shop with a mediocre amount of tools, and I'm gonna have a 56 Chevy truck here together in 1 to 15 months. So, thanks for watching. Leave a comment below. Make sure you give, what's his name there, George, a little thumbs up for carrying on, and we'll start a new video where we rip this thing apart. You want to just do the work, Danielle? Oh, it's heavy.